thanks for making the Martha Stewart Show an Emmy-winning hour 2 years in a row. A brand new season of inspiring ideas begins September 26th on Hallmark Channel.
Cakes mark milestones in our lives, birthdays, anniversaries, graduations, and they often become family traditions. In my family, I remember that my dad always had a 3-layer yellow cake as favorite, with a rich, buttery, sour lemon filling, and it was always frosted with Hungarian chocolate frosting. My brother George, because he was born on George Washington's birthday, always had a patriotic flag cake. And Eric, devil's food cake. And Laura, Frank, and Kathy, orange sponge cake, angel food with strawberries, and whipped cream or a yellow and brown marble cake with a dark chocolate glaze. There are those that believe that cake isn't cake unless it's chocolate. And for them, we've created what we think is definitely the ultimate chocolate cake. And I'd like to show you how to make it. It's very delicious. And it's not too hard to make. You have to first butter your cake pans. And these are 8-inch in diameter cake pans by 2 inches deep. It's important to have that depth. And we have buttered it and lined it with parchment paper, buttered the parchment paper, and then one of our secrets is to pour in 1/8 of a cup or so of the best cocoa you can find. And now we're going to sift 1 cup of Valrhona cocoa powder into a mixing bowl. This cake is made by hand, by the way. We don't need to have an electric mixer. We're going to pour 3/4 of a cup of boiling, strong coffee, like a good espresso would be great, and 1 cup of milk. The milk should be at room temperature, and we want to whisk this together. Now let this mixture just cool, and now for the dry ingredients, we're going to sift in a big strainer like this 2 3/4 cups of cake flour, not the self-rising kind, okay? Remember that. We're going to add to that 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. It's very important to sift the dry ingredients for a cake. And now we are going to mix our butter, 3 sticks of unsalted butter, and they must be at room temperature because you're going to be mixing this by hand. And we have found that using a rubber scraper really works very well for this process. So just smooth out the butter first and then add 2 1/2 cups of sugar. A lot of sugar, but it is a 2-layer cake. So you're just going to stir that sugar into the butter, creaming it with your spatula. And now add 1 tablespoon of very good vanilla extract. Now we're going to add 4 large eggs, little shoes. And we're going to stir them in one at a time. The sugar is gradually softening into the mixture, becoming less grainy. And now we're going to pour in the cooled cocoa mixture. Now be careful stirring this in. So you can see that the texture is a little bit grainy looking. Now a little bit at a time, add your dry ingredients. You're really stirring them in. It's not really just folding, it's really stirring. And the last bit. Oh, it's all of a sudden getting smoother. And look how it's maintained that dark, dark chocolate color. And now divide the batter evenly between the 2 pans. Smooth out the batter. Put it right into the oven. And you're going to bake this for approximately 20 minutes at 350 degrees. Then you'll rotate the pans and you will bake for another 15 minutes or so. Once they come out of the oven, though, don't forget to invert the cakes after 15 minutes, remove the pans, and set aside to cool on a rack like this. And they'll take about an hour to cool because they're very dense. Now, to prepare the ultimate chocolate frosting, you're going to put 12 tablespoons of butter right into a big mixing bowl. You're going to sift 3½ cups of confectioner's sugar and 1 cup of cocoa powder into the bowl. Add 1/2 cup of whole milk and a little bit of vanilla extract, 2 teaspoons. So now just stir carefully. Look how quickly it's transformed into a smooth and glossy chocolate frosting. And now we're going to use a Lazy Susan for the next step. We'll put our flattest layer of cake. Don't forget to take the parchment paper off and put it on a cake round. And now to save the Lazy Susan, here's a little secret that I learned. Put little strips of waxed paper or parchment like this. And now the excess frosting will go on the parchment paper. Now, if you have a little raised spot like that, you can just gently slice off that raised spot. I'll put a little frosting on the inside. And now this layer. Now these are great layers because look, they're firm, they're not going to fall apart, and yet they are exceedingly moist. Looks so scrumptious. Well, here's the cake. Not too smoothly frosted. You want it to look very homemade. Now, even if you don't like chocolate, aren't you tempted? Now, just gently remove the parchment strips. You can see why these are so effective. Not a drop of chocolate on the Lazy Susan. Now, if you are going to take it someplace, or if you want to store it until you're ready to serve it, remove the cake with a great big spatula. And I'm going to put this right in this old-fashioned cake carrying tray dome. I love these things. Put that bamboo skewer right in the center. This will hold the cake in place. You can even just cut it off. Put your top on. Lock the top shut. This is a great little carrier. And you can take the cake safely to where you're going. The best chocolate cake ever.
For more entertaining decorating, craft, and homekeeping tips, pick up the latest issue of Martha Stewart Living or subscribe today at marthastewart.com/iTunes offer. Martha Stewart On Demand, free on Comcast, Cox, Optimum, and DirecTV. To learn more, go to marthastewart.com/on-demand.